Hey everyone, Zhao here again. Tonight, another book that I totally forgot I ordered, The Good Night by Krista McGee, Narde, and Weathers. Let's see what the... Oh, signed. See, look. Look. Signed. In the actual book. Why didn't Francisco Narde sign it? I have no idea. But Francisco Narde is the artist. Nice map in here. Eric Weathers and Bonnie McGee, who maybe is related to Crystal, I don't know. Starting off on slightly negative note, I'm not a fan of this cover. I guess there were other covers. Just it's so muddied. It's a great image. And fortunately, once we get into the inside, you'll see the images are fantastic in a very non-traditional way. One thing I wanted to point out is just the size of this book. This is Black Tiger, which is regular, standard graphic novel size. Tadya, I mean, the whole book for Tadya is smaller than just the cover image. Terrible work. For some reason, Crystal McGee, the creator, decided to make this book more magazine size. Let us take a look and we will see why that was such a good choice. Now, the main images use, not even quite sure what kind of style you would call it, but this is definitely not a normal comic book style. It doesn't have outlines. This is very beautifully rendered. And I think that if this were a normal sized book, these panels would be too small and I really wouldn't be able to tell what's going on. But the black and white value, this size is very nice. So, what is this book about? 1:45 a.m. Santa Monica, California. Now, maybe Crystal has not been to California recently. Even though there are some nice areas of Santa Monica, most of the LA area was probably more horrible and terrifying than what we see in this book. But that's if I'm picking nits. So we have Jack, who is in a band, the VHS Killers. We have Belladonna, and we have his teddy bear, Alexander. So we come to find that Belladonna is coming to take Jack to her own realm. Alexander is basically the soul of a knight who screwed up in the past, and he is here to protect Jack. Then we go to Zarthos, a living planet, and we're in Zygar on Zothos. Zygar on Zarthus. It's, if you have names with the same letter, Sam, Sally, Scott, Smith, that's okay. But if you're going to have very similar sounding fantasy names that don't make sense in our language, it gets a little tough to remember what's what. We go on. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. So Alexander, he meets some other people, basically the Necronomicon called Edmund, and they are trying to save Jack. Owlbear, I'm gonna guess Crystal's a D&D person, and the book is great. It goes through them fighting their way through this forest, mystic looking demons, dragon, and we find a little bit more. Belladonna is trying to seduce Jack a bit. It seems like there will be a continuation. The art is fantastic overall. I do find in some places there's so much white space, it's a little strange. Let me see, this is not bad. I do like that, there are a variety of panel sizes, shapes, and orientations. We've got this trapezoidal one here, another one here. He's in the middle between them. So overall, it's great. Here's a full page full bleed, as they say. And this one is just a lot of white space. So I'm not quite sure what the design, or this one. I'm not sure why there are only 4 panels and why they're oriented this way, and there's so much white space. In general, it works though. I wanted to point out too, for anyone who is considering going on shows to promote a comic that you're working on, check a look at this editorial from Crystal. Dear reader, we've done it. First issue's out in the wild. Fantasy and horror are my favorite genres to write because they grant the opportunity to explore difficult themes through the characters. The Good Night also contains a number of aspects common to the sword and sorcery subgenres that fascinate her, including films like Excalibur, Conan, Legend, Fire and Ice, Lord of the Rings, were all big influences. And then she goes on to say how Akira influenced her to creating the teddy bear. This is how you write a promotional piece. This is like if someone requested to come on the channel and they sent me this, that would be excellent because it gives me a lot to work with to ask them. Now, if if you've got a number of books out, maybe you don't need it. But if you're a first timer, something like this would be excellent. So apparently they're coming out with a 3.5 resin cast figure. Now, this is one of those books that I'm pretty sure came out in 2018. If it wasn't 2018, I'm sorry. The campaign was announced in 2018 or early 2019. I'm not sure which. And if you look on the copyrights, it says The Good Night, published by Mystical Comics, copyright 2020. Now, I may have done a video on this already based on the PDF that came out, and that was a long time ago. I only got this book 2-3 months ago now. So why did it take, if this is copyrighted 2020, why did it take until 2022 for one to get into my hands? I have no idea, and it's a good question to ask. I would definitely be interested to see where this is going, but is it going to be like another 4 years before I get a copy? So I am not sure, but in my opinion, overall, story is good. The art is fantastic. It's got a lot of more original, I would say, looking concepts and a different way to deal with comic books. So for me, it's a thumbs up. What did you guys think of The Good Night? Leave your comment down below. If you liked it, give this video a thumbs up, and I will have more comic content soon.